Hey, how's it going? So, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite comic series of all time. This is Battle Angel Alita. I got the first two volumes right here in kind of a strange edition, but I also have the normal edition of Volume 1 and the rest back here, Volumes 3 through 9. I have the whole series. It's only 9 books. It is so good because it kind of captures a kind of a like a sketchier style, kind of a darker and a muddier looking grim, a lot of dark tones and cross shading. Now, the reason why this works is because it's a dark series. It's not forgiving. It's not shonen, not a regular shonen kind of manga. It's got this real grit to it, which really amplifies its greatness because the story takes place on like Earth years in the future, now called the Scrapyard, because everything has gone dystopian and the chosen elite live on like a floating island above the Earth, and people kind of want to get up there. It being called Thai Fairs, or some translations call it Zalim. But anyways, they're trying to get to they're trying to separate the elite from like everyone else, like the trash of society, and only certain people get to go up to Thai fairs, and the whole thing's a mystery because no one from the scrapyard can get up there. So the fact that they made the manga, I mean Yukito Kishiro and whoever was working on with him, they made the manga very dark, very stylistically gritty, which really complements the whole thing. To be honest, it just makes reading it much more dynamic. Now, I've talked enough about the artwork, and about the story is it progresses along at a good rate. It has like a kind of a undying theme of striving for humanity because the main character being a cyborg, she wants to be like everybody else. It's a pretty overused trope, but it somehow really works with this series because she's just such a likable character. Now, the the only thing I can really complain about is the fact that it feels like the story kind of only is narrated from very few points of view. Alita being the main one, and there's actually a section where they kind of do the point of view of another character being one of her mentors who's actually from Thai Fairs. I'm not going to spoil the series, what's going on in that scene. But she kind of gets communication between Thai Fairs and the scrapyard through this kind of a she's like a kind of a naive scientist lady, and she communicates with Alita down at the scrapyard, and it goes from her point of view a little bit, which I think could have been done really well because there's another character called Destinova, and without spoiling anything, I will say that he's a mad scientist and he's one of the darker characters. They do so much good with him though. There's a section in the book where they place him earlier in the story in like a kind of a hallucination sequence, and it's the only time I've ever seen that done in a manga, and it is incredible. The fact that Kishiro can make something like that work shows that he is a master at Japanese artwork and storytelling. Now, other than that, the fact that there's not much point of view, I really can't complain about this series at all. If you look it up, you'll find that the creator actually wasn't happy with the ending, which is he can have any opinion he wants. He wrote it, but I have no problems with the ending. There's no qualms for me. I think that the ending is beautiful, actually. I mean, without sounding like a tool, I think it's great, It just, it ties everything together. And here's where I'm going to get to my next point, which is important. Battle Angel has a sequel. This is just Battle Angel Alita. Battle Angel Alita Last Order is kind of a proto-sequel class continuation of Battle Angel. It starts from a point where the series didn't finish because the author wasn't happy. And I don't like it Last Order. I don't like the fact that the manga got really simple artistic wise. I feel like the same thing happened in Naruto when I went to Shippuden. That's another day's review though. But why change something that's so good and so original? Really, and it becomes more of like an action kind of shonen kind of book. When the original is not. It's the original. This is more of a sports manga than a shonen manga. I mean, there's a whole rollerball thing, which is great. I think it's freaking entertaining. So if you're into that sports kind of manga, you could even get into this too. And I don't own Last Order because of it. I only have the first 9 volumes of Battle Angel, which I have right here, which I'm telling you about. Now, before I talk about the prequel, Ashen Victor, let me just say, this book is out of print, and I found it for $1 at my local comic book store. Not used. I just found this for $1 because no one was who's gonna buy Ashen Victor, Battle Angel, other than me, So, anyways, it's awesome. It's freaking great. The art is simpler, but it's got these kind of cool uses of like white space and kind of like these interesting uses of light, and which is pretty impressive for an author that's used to shading and cross shading and over detailing everything in a good way. And I have to say, this is probably the best bargain I ever found in a manga. $1 for the prequel, and I'm not gonna spoil anything because you can't really read the prequel without kind of reading the series. But if you're gonna collect Battle Angel, you got to read Ashen Victor too. Some people don't consider it canon, but it's pretty good as a one-shot prequel. It's great. So, anyways, that's my thoughts on Battle Angel. If anyone has any more questions, go ahead and just ask me about it or look it up. It's one of the best.